What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Out here, Tokyo, Japan, really late at night. It's really morning time, so I'm having a lot of trouble in the early portions of this because I've been here for less than 24 hours, but I'm still trying to adjust to the time zone differences, right? So I am 13 hours ahead. Even when I'm going through and I'm looking at what my editors posted, and I'm trying to plan for the releases and stuff like that, I'm having a very difficult time in which I have to, start to mine out and do a little bit of calculation, because when I look at the time on my computer, I even got one of my phones still on the time zone here and then one on Eastern so that I could be able to tell the difference. But then 13 hours, you're still looking at different days and stuff like that. So it's wild. It's really interesting. But one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is that you got to take inventory and you got to be careful about the cost that goes along with whatever it is that you do. You got to look at everything from a business perspective. So why am I saying this, right? Because it applies to every aspect of your life. When I travel to somewhere like Tokyo, right, or wherever it is that I go on a regular basis, I'm always evaluating what the cost-benefit analysis is. What is it that I'm going to get out of this? Because a lot of people just do stuff because they influenced by other people. I guess that's one of the reasons they call them influencers. They over there taking videos and stuff like that. A lot of people are influenced by the people that surround them to do the things that they're doing, but they're not giving you the why. They're not giving you the reasons. And your why is going to be the determining factor for whether or not you get the most out of the experience and whether or not it's worth you actually doing it, or if you should put it off and actually wait to do something different. So I'll give you an example, right? Cost-benefit analysis. I broke this down inside of my Patreon from a business perspective as far as the restaurant. Let's say, for example, you got a business, right? And it's profitable. But how do you know that you should continue to run that business? Do you determine whether or not you should continue to run the business because it's profitable? Or do you do a cost-benefit analysis and try to figure out, is it more profitable for you to spend your time doing something else? Or are you only holding on to it because you see the numbers and on paper it seems like it makes sense? If you can make more money doing something completely different versus continuing to nurse and nurture that thing that's taking up the majority of your time, would you do it? Most people would say yes because of the way I'm explaining it. It makes sense to them. But most people actually wouldn't because they're emotional and it's their baby and they built it and all of this other type of stuff. So it's very difficult for them to let go of the thing that's most meaningful to them because they have an emotional attachment to whatever it is that they're doing. It's the same thing when it comes to relationships. A lot of people stick around with somebody, or they hold on to people that surround them, because relationships is not just the person that you land next to. It's the people that you were born with. It's the people that you feel like you align yourself with just because they're black. It's the people that you grew up with, and they could be toxic or they could not be adding value into their life. We see it all the time on full display when it comes to NBA players. We've seen it with Ja Morant. We see it with people that wind up going broke, the Antoine Walkers. We see it with MC Hammer, right? People keep it too real because they so focused on how it is that they feel instead of being focused on what's best. And so they get an emotional attachment to something instead of looking at it from a business perspective to figure out whether or not it's worth the investment. Being worth the investment is not just the money you put into something. It's also the thing that can bring a return on your time. It's the people that siphon your energy. A lot of times we need to fix ourselves before we start talking about is it worth our time? Because we so focused on other people instead of focusing on what it is that we doing and whether or not we siphoning the energy from the people that surround us and whether we should let them go. If you love somebody and you see them going towards a certain direction, but then you playing a role in their life can actually ruin the trajectory of where they're going, are you willing to let them go? No, because you got to keep it real. No, because they your friend. No, because you got an emotional attachment to them. We grew up together, right? If my homie, right, could possibly lose something or a bag, or his trajectory is shortened because I'm his friend because of my background or something that I did or whatever, I'm willing to divest myself from him because I'm like, yo, fam, go and do your thing. Similar, you know what I'm reminded of when I'm thinking about this? Good Will Hunting. In Good Will Hunting, the guy, Ben Affleck, was like, yo, why you still fucking around and being here with us? I mean, I know you love me. I know we grew up together, but you a fucking genius. If you still sitting here and I wake up in the morning and you still here every single day, but we still doing this stupid ass construction job when you got much, much better things that you're supposed to be going off and taking care of, I'm not your friend if I'm not doing the thing that's in your own best interest and telling you the truth, right? And so what y'all have to do is look at every single thing from a business perspective. Every single thing you do, look at it from a business perspective, because it is not in your best interest to do the thing based off of how you feel instead of basing off the value that it brings to you. It's some people in your life you're gonna have to let go. It's some women that y'all continue to surround yourselves with or approach knowing that it's a possibility that she got that bug, that she got that clap, that she got the herpes. You know what I'm saying? She gonna get you set up, but you gonna see it through anyway. From a business perspective, you know it's gonna fuck up everything. And we all do it. I've done it, no, not necessarily with women, but I've done it in certain instances in which, you know, I took the risk and I knew that it was a possibility for it to go wrong. And sometimes it did and sometimes it didn't. And then you got to recover for it. And then you got to try to have the learned lesson. How many times are we going to have learned lessons? How many times are we going to do the thing that's not in our best interest because we feel something instead of looking at it from a business perspective? And most people, 99% of people, maybe not 99, maybe 97, 96, 95%, 95% of people are always going to do things based off of how they feel, which is why you see a lot of people get locked up, which is why you see a lot of people under duress, which is why you see a lot of people having divorces, which is why you see a lot of people losing stuff and then holding on to their business too long, which is why you see people go into a business based off of how they feel instead of going into it based off of what's best, which is why people do things on a regular basis and you can always bank on it. You can take it to the bank. If you're a person that inherently look at things from a business perspective, instead of doing things emotionally, the majority of the time, you will outpace and you will beat every single other person that's in your field. Guaranteed. Your success can simply be tied to the fact that you just waiting on other people to make an emotional decision. Sorry, it's a little dark over here, but we got some lighting. We good. I'm not just completely walking down some back street. I'm right outside my hotel, the Ritz-Carlton. You can bank on it. You can take it to the bank. Most people are going to make an emotional decision, and all you got to do is make a business decision. Play the odds. It's just like the casino. The casino knows that it's a possibility that you can win. The casino also knows that in every single game inside of that casino, they have the edge. And as long as they continue to do it from a business perspective and playing it by the numbers, they're going to win 10 times out of 10. Or they may win 6 times out of 5. But it always works out in their favor. And that's one of the reasons why it's so many casinos, because it's not built off of winners and it's not built off of chance. It's built off of math. It's a business, a literal business decision that's being made by the people that own the casinos. And I guarantee you, none of them have went in there and wagered a bet in their own place. Doesn't make sense, right? So listen, all I'm telling you is that everything you do, every single thing that you do in this lifetime, damn, it's getting dark. Maybe I'm just that black. I like to think it's the lighting, but I think I'm just that black. Everything you do in this lifetime is going to be tied to whether or not you can make the strong, informed decision or whether or not you're doing it based off of emotion. I love you. Let me get a little bit of light. I appreciate you. I'm gonna holler at you later. Peace.